We got the man himself here, Ryan, Ginger on Wheels, on the Commander Pro from Ungerground. Looking good. Everybody's feeling this wheel. Yep. Oh, you're so cool.
It's harder to turn than the Sherman S.
See? Easier than the EX30. But you're all...
Look at me and look at you.
But you guys are riding a 100-volt wheel. This is 134 volts.
See, that's the EX30 is 134 too.
Yes.
See, I'm not used to that shit.
Yeah, it's a lot more power to demand.
Basically, the power to weight ratio is a whole lot different.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I'm not used to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not used to. It just wants to go straight and go.
Yeah.
To me.
David's opinion on the suspension
I'm a tiny
Sherman.
guy. Look
And
at
that's
me.
the thing, you've ridden the suspension Sherman. I've only gone up and back. Mia! We're hanging out. There she is.
Yeah, the lady.
And that'll be the Ungerground lab. We want to appreciate
Woo.
you. We say Ginger. Last minute conversations, man. Do what you got to do because we're rolling out of here 7:30 on the dot.
Ew. That's so funny.
I was going too slow. It's hard to see that thing upright.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're just coming back from the Seattle 2-year anniversary ride. It was awesome. It was really nice to mingle with everybody.
It was great finally meeting everybody in Seattle.
Yes.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes, thanks to Seattle crew. Frank, the other Frank, Brandon
Frank
did great
Filmer.
on making all the barbecue
I know,
stuff.
thank you.
We got to see Ryan up there. Mia was great hosting all of the women. Shout out to Mia. That was great. It's really nice to kind of meet the other women.
I meet the whole riding crew.
Yeah, meet the entire crew.
Everybody's
There's a
super
lot
nice.
of people there.
I think there was over 200 people. It felt like 200 people.
Yeah, people were kind of dipping in and dipping out, but there was definitely at least 200 people on the ride
Minimum.
at one point.
Yeah. We'll post up some pictures on Ungerground.
Yeah, we did give away an Mten4 yesterday.
Yep.
Liam and I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the Mten4. People were kind of talking about the Mten4 and the 8.2 yesterday. You know, the Mten4 isn't necessarily a commuter wheel. It's more a little baby wheel for, I'm really looking forward to doing it at like Northwest Electric Fest. There's, it's great for kind of getting around.
Close errands.
Close errands.
1 or 2 blocks.
Yes, especially now that we put the trolley handle on the Mten4. Because the problem with the Mten4 is that there's no kill switch on it. So anytime you get to where you're going, you need to
turn it off.
you have to power it off and then like carry it around. And it's just dead weight.
Yeah.
The trolley handle is really nice though because it doesn't add any extra bulk to the wheel.
Easy to ride still. I carried an Mten4 box on the M10.
Yeah,
with the trolley handle.
we both took the
Up a hill,
Yeah, we
up a
both
hill.
took the M10.4s. I had the bin of prizes.
Yeah.
Liam carried up like the boxed M10.4 for the giveaway.
36 pounds.
Yeah, so I mean, I still a torquey little fun wheel.
Up a hill.
But some people are
Seattle.
saying like, oh, it's swirly. And it's like, yeah, well, it's not really made to be a commuter wheel with that small tire. It's more of like an event, like around the neighborhood wheel.
Yeah. I mean, you're going 10, 15 miles an hour. It's not squirrely. You go more than that, yeah, it's squirrely.
Yes, and if you're looking for like a commuter wheel, the 8.2 is probably a much better choice because it has a 15-inch tire.
Yep.
But you still have to remember that the 8.2 is an 84-volt wheel. So it's it's definitely not a performance wheel, but it's
a great commuter wheel.
It's a great commuter wheel. It's super lightweight. I think it weighs like 40 some pounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. But we're gonna get a demo wheel airship to LA tomorrow, actually. So I should get it hopefully next week, Monday, not tomorrow, but a week later. We're gonna get 2 actually. So one's gonna go to Marty Backey. What's up, Marty? And he's gonna break it down, take it apart, do the Marty thing, engineer shit, stuff, things, PG. Let's keep it PG. And then another one's gonna go to La Latina out in Vegas, my favorite Vegas rider. I'm your biggest fan.
Law's amazing.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna drive down there. We're gonna do a live unboxing with Law, and then he'll have it for a week or so, and then we'll ship it up to Portland with Jenn.
Yeah, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a super popular wheel in the Pacific Northwest, because the A2 is, you see the goat like taking this wheel and throwing it into water. Obviously don't do that, but the waterproofing capabilities on the A2 are going to be impressive enough where you don't have to open up this wheel, silicone it on the inside. All of that gets pretty tedious, so it's really nice to have a waterproof wheel out of the box.
Yeah.
And
a commuter wheel.
Yeah, commuter wheel. When I'm going to work Monday through Friday, I'm not really looking to take my Commander Pro. Honestly, I'll probably still use my Master to get to and from work. But man, once that Commander Mini comes out,
oh yeah, the Commander Mini.
I am so in love with the Commander Pro. Every time I step on that wheel, and everybody who steps on that wheel, I've let a lot of people ride it, and everybody is just, oh wow, it's so punchy. It's a familiar ride, because it has that classic box design, unlike the Master Pro, and the EX30, which has that kind of...
Well, it's a lot of pieces moving in the EX30 and Master, where there's a bar on top, a bar in the bottom, and then the batteries hold it, so it can teeter-totter or whatever. Where the Commander Pro, it's one solid side on a body. So, and there's probably, I want to say, maybe 14, 18 bolts holding it together.
Yeah,
on the same body.
I really prefer the classic body design of the Commander Pro. It's just so much easier to throw your pads on there. You don't have to buy an expensive fairing system to protect the batteries. It's just ready to go. And that's these extras. I love all the extras. I love that we have all these different options for different accessories. But it's really nice when you don't have to throw another $500, into a wheel.
Yep.
They're already expensive.
Yeah. And everybody that I've seen demo the wheel, when they're riding the wheel, always have a smile on their face.
Yes.
It's like a kid
The
riding a bike.
Commander Pro is a much more familiar ride. I think that a lot of people are used to, coming from like an EXN, a Sherman Max. Those used to be the big wheels last year. And it's just more balanced.
Yeah.
The weight is so much more balanced, and also the C38 motor isn't as difficult.
Clunky.
Yeah, it's the C40 motor. Yeah, you have that extra power, but it's clunky. It's clunky and it's heavy. Yeah. And for riders our size, for me to utilize that C40 motor, I don't want to have to lean into my wheel super, super hard to have it respond. Part of the fun of riding for me is like being in a flow state and like moving with my wheel is one with me. With the EX30, I really have to be like, okay, I'm going to turn, and I have to like throw the wheel like way harder than I do on the Commander Pro. I like it to move with me. A lot of people are just asking about the differences, because people are trying to buy a big street wheel right now, and it's either Commander Pro, EX30, or suspension Sherman. But the suspension Sherman 100 volts, it's like, get out of here, man. Get out of here with that. You're going up a hill, you're going on a group fast ride. I don't want to be on last year's technology with that shit, for the same price. Why?
Yeah. Well, it's more expensive.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And honestly, the suspension Sherman, I still see a lot of posts about problems. I mean, there's this one point where like all the pressure comes down on this one piece, and like you see it time and time. Like eventually, like the suspension Sherman is gonna have like that breaking point issue because of the design of the wheel, which is unfortunate to see. I mean, I wish that, because with Veteran, it's kind of like, man, the last great wheel they had with no problems was the OG Sherman.
Yeah.
You know, and I was kind of hoping to see a better design from Veteran with the suspension Sherman. Look, out of the box, the suspension Sherman feels great, but I don't want to have to like do a whole bunch of maintenance on my suspension. People have like leaking oil out of that thing. They take it out of the box, it's leaking. It's like,
I rode the Sherman
crazy.
too, the suspension Sherman too. It feels like it always wants to tilt over also.
You know, but
it has a great suspension.
I couldn't be happier with the Commander Pro. It's everything that I was hoping the EX30 would be. And again, you know, everything I thought I was going to love about the EX30 are the things I don't like about it. That C40 motor is heavy, and that wider rim, yeah, the ride is stable, but it's also less fun, you know, because that tire is the rim is so wide, and it just like changes the feel of the ride.
It's not as nimble because the tire's wider.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got guys in LA talking about putting shims, like kind of like rims or whatever in the middle to make it back to a skinnier tire.
Yeah, to make the ride a little more fun.
Yeah.
But again, you know, if you don't want that wider rim and you don't need the that low middle end torque, and again, unless you're a much heavier rider.
Or you're crazy like me.
Or you know, you're looking for that. Hey, if you really want that like middle low end torque, and you're a heavier rider, and you feel like you can like, and you want to lean into your wheel really hard, you enjoy that feeling, awesome. But for most people, for kind of like your average rider, I mean, I would consider myself like not, you know, I ride with my like the core elite crew in Portland, so I'm always learning to be better. But I consider myself to be like, like, you know, just kind of like the average rider. I'm out there riding, I'm out there commuting. You know, I don't need the heaviest performance wheel every time I step on my wheel. And honestly, it's just about the feel of the ride. The EX30, every time I stepped on it, I was just like, man, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And as soon as I stepped on the Commander Pro, I was like, this is it. This is what I wanted.
I told you that.
I know you did. But when you look at the specs, when you're like, and that's the other thing, when you're reading specs like on the computer, and you're like, okay, well, this wheel has this wheel has this. Well, this one is better, but like better, like more powerful, like more, you think you like the idea of that. But then when you step on the wheel itself, it's like, actually it makes it heavier. It's actually, I really got to lean into this super hard to get the performance out of this wheel. And that's a different style of riding. You know, I mean, you're really just throwing all your weight around, and I don't want to. I want it to be in a flow state. I want my wheel to be like a part of me. I feel like I'm more like driving like a semi-truck when I'm on the EX30. You know, the Commander Pro just like moves with you so well.
Well, the comparison I have is the EX30 is like a muscle car, and the Commander Pro is more like a European sports car.
Yeah. But, you know, a lot of people are still trying to decide their big wheel this summer, so we just wanted to talk a little bit about the differences between the EX30 and the Commander Pro. And, you know, a lot of people are still talking about the Mten4, and, you know, I hear that a lot, like, it's a little squirrely. For me, it's fun. I mean, once I get up to, like, higher speeds, like 25 or so, like, once I start getting top speed on the M10, like, yeah, sure, it's like not as, you know, smooth as a larger tire. And that's why if you feel that way and you're not looking for like a fun little event wheel, like the A2 is probably the smarter choice. It's still small, it's still lightweight.
I'm sure you can get 25 on the A2 without being squirrely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 14-inch tire, so I mean, a lot of us started off on like 16-inch wheels. So, I mean, it's not going to feel squirrely like the Mten4 for sure. And I do like the waterproofing capabilities of the A2. I'm happy to see more, more of that. I'd like to see some more smart BMSs in the future. I would like to see all wheels with these waterproof ratings.
Yeah.
Now that the performance is kind of dialed in, I hope to see more focus on, electronics, smarter placement of charge ports. Like, why do I have to like pull up my handle to like charge a wheel? Like, it's not really intuitive. But hopefully, the next generation of wheels will see some more thought out things like that.
And speaking of big wheels, don't forget the Master Pro. That's the ultimate range king, as Marty says. I love my Master Pro.
Yeah, if you're doing long distance rides, if you're like looking to do these like 80-mile days, I mean, they're
without charging.
Yeah,
they're going fast.
And it's comfortable when you're doing super long distances. But if you're like if you're just like, hey, I'm doing if you're kind of commuting or getting around, like each wheel has a different application. And if you're doing long distance cruises, nothing beats the Master Pro.
Yeah.
But a lot of people.
It's a push ride.
Yeah, a lot of, and if you have the money to spend, you can have your long distance wheel, your street wheel, your off-road wheel.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, and every wheel has a different application. But most people I know kind of have two wheels. They'll have a street wheel, and then they'll kind of have a smaller off-road / commuter wheel.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, the Master Pro is. It's a pretty big wheel for just like a middle ground street wheel, but there is no denying that the Master Pro is the ultimate long distance cruiser.
Yeah, for sure. 4,800 watt-hour battery.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, but I do think that the Commander Pro feels great with 3,600 watt-hours. I wouldn't want it to have more batteries in there because I feel like it would be.
It's gonna add 20 pounds.
Yeah. And it's like, it feels so good.
And the range is going to be great too. It's going to be, 50 if you're booking 40 miles an hour, 70 if you're just cruising.
Yeah, and I also like the stock pedals that the Commander Pro comes with. They're much lighter weight than the pedals on the EX30. And I noticed that my foot did fatigue pretty quickly on the EX30. And I've been riding the Commander Pro for 2 days now. And it's a lot easier on the foot. I also like the stock tire on the Commander Pro a lot better.
Like a hybrid.
Yeah, it's like this hybrid tire.
Pirelli tire.
While the EX30, they're still shipping that out with the CST. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that
well,
CST.
We're getting street tires on ours. There's half street tire, half knobbies that are coming because some people still like the knobbies.
Oh yeah, and if you're everybody has a preference on tires and pad setup, and nobody's wrong or right. It just depends on what you're looking to get out of your ride. For me, I used to do a lot of off-road when I first started riding EUCs, but now I ride like 99% street. I'm either commuting or doing like longer range rides on the weekend, but I'm not like hitting the dirt a lot. I know some of the guys in Portland still go to like Gateway Green. There's a cool little like jumping track there.
I do both.
But I wouldn't want to be taking my Commander Pro. I mean, you could. I mean,
you can.
You could. But honestly, like, the Commander Mini.
Yeah, that's gonna be
like a nice hybrid. Like that's gonna be a nice off-road / commuter wheel. For me, I really see myself like Commander Pro, Commander Mini. The Commander Pro for like my weekend rides with the guys, and then the Commander Mini Monday through Friday, getting to work and back, commuting around the neighborhood. That Commander Mini, I'm pretty excited about that wheel because I think the Extreme is going to be heavy.
There's no way it's 77 pounds. No way.
Yeah, it has like a lot, like the whole,
it's all,
like
it's
this whole
CNC
I know.
Body. So
yeah, that's going to
heavy.
add a lot of weight. But if you're doing like strictly trails, like Chance and whoever else does only off-road, that's great, but like,
It's still heavy.
you know, if you live in a city, if you live in like the city, it's like, man, that Extreme is kind of like not the right application for, you know, a commuter wheel. It's like so focused on off-road that, and it just kind of looked bulky. Like I saw a picture of it and it just kind of looked like a behemoth in a small body. It looked like it would, but I haven't ridden one yet, so
we'll get the demo also for that.
Yeah.
I got 2 demos coming for that too.
But I after riding the Commander Pro, I'm super excited for the Commander Mini for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the Extreme has just a lot. You know, the handlebar is just way out there. Like I was telling people, it looks like 2 machetes coming at you if you fall. It's not. I don't think it's that safe. I told Extreme Bow they need to make it smaller. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
If not, I'll make it smaller myself.
Yeah. But it's nice, like, again, it's nice to not have to mod your wheels. You know, you buy a brand new wheel and it's like, oh, okay, I have to do this to it. It's like, man, it's really nice when you just take it out of the box. I don't have to upgrade the shocks. I don't have to, like, you know, buy like all these fairing systems to protect it from like just a basic fall.
So the Commander Pro, all you did was put pads on it, and we made a seat for you. How'd the seat feel?
Sitting on the Commander Pro is very, very nice. It's a natural feel. The seat is literally just a little bit of pad with some of that law.
It's decal tape.
Law originally recommended it, so now in my head I'm like, oh, the law tape.
Yeah.
But it's nice not to be slipping and sliding on your seat. But naturally, like the body of the Commander Pro, you really just kind of like, you know, and it's nice because you have the handle in front. Yeah. For me, it's like when I'm sitting down, I kind of like will throw the wheel out in front of me, and like with my hand, it's nice to be able to grab onto the front of the wheel and kind of like
acceleration or braking.
Yeah, it's just to kind of like help.
Kind of like the Sherman.
Help place your butt, and that's the other thing. You know, having the front and back handle on the Commander Pro. Now I have a way to lift that sucker in and out of my car, or well, in and out of a car. Yeah. You know, the EX30, the next month.
Yeah.
the EX30 though, it's like, how am I lifting this wheel? You know, I have to like grab by the pedals, and it's just like, oh, now it's like kind of like tipping over towards me.
Honeycomb pedals.
Yeah, the honeycomb pedals, but the low power mode. But the Commander Pro is just like a much better design for common day issues that we all have: balance, handlebars, not having to spend a whole bunch of money on a fairing system. Balanced, you know, for the average rider, I think the Commander Pro is the pick over the EX30.
I mean, I even like the Commander Pro over the EX30. As a 155 pounds on my best day rider, 5'7".
Yeah, I mean, Kane loves his, you know, Kane's like one of the top riders in Portland, and, you know, he really loves his EX30, but Kane's a big guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he weighs, but like, you know.
I'd say
so he's a big
maybe 220 Kane.
Yeah, Kane's like probably what, 6 feet tall?
He's more than 6 feet. He's probably 6'2".
Yeah, but Kane, you know, he puts on.
I'm short, so I think everybody's tall.
Kane puts on like more miles than anybody in Portland, and you know, he loves his EX30.
Yeah.
But again, he has the weight and the power behind him to like demand and like make use of that power. For someone that's probably like 100 pounds less than Kane and not as strong, you don't have like man strength. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of like, oh, you're your average woman rider. And for me, the Commander Pro is the wheel that is more manageable and easier for me to control and more fun to ride. It's just more fun to ride because it's like punchy. You know?
Yeah, the EX30, I'm on my tippy toes trying to get speed. Commander Pro, I'm just leaning forward. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday, Frank Filmer rode both of them, the EX30 and the Commander Pro, and He's a big dude too. He's probably 6'2". Frank, sorry, I think you're about 250. And maybe he's skinnier. I don't know. But
he's not small. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. If anybody knows Frank, you know him. But anyways, he said he liked the Commander Pro more. Oh, this idiot. Oh, sorry, I'm driving.
Most people that ride have ridden both the EX30 and the Commander Pro. I can't even think of anyone who's ridden them both and has told me that they prefer the EX30.
Yeah.
I do know that when I demoed the EX30, most people come back and say, whoa, it's really like unbalanced. It like wants to tip one way to the other. The Commander Pro, every time people demo, most of the people that demo the wheel come back, they're smiling. They say, oh, it's really punchy, it's really balanced. It's pretty clear that the average rider prefers the design and the punchiness of the Commander Pro, which is interesting because, it has a C38 motor, and when you're looking at it, you're like, whoa, C40 motor, more power, but again, those magnets make it harder to demand making use of that power. And if you have I think that people that have experience riding bigger wheels, Dawn loves the EX30, but she's stepping down into the EUC world from motorcycles, so she knows how to move her body and throw her weight around to demand that power. For me, coming from no sports, one wheel to a 16X, and then working my way up to 100 volt wheels, smaller 100 volt wheels and bigger 100 volt wheels. The Commander Pro for me is just so obviously the right choice.
It's a natural ride.
It's a natural ride, yeah. It feels more natural.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are just deciding what wheels to buy right now. Summer is right around the corner. Are we in summer yet, technically? I don't know, but everybody's buying
summer in
wheels.
California, so I have no idea.
But everybody's buying wheels. Everybody's kind of asking me oh, hey, which wheel should I get? And I still kind of ask, I'm like, well, for me, these are the reasons why. But what are you looking for from a wheel? Most of the riders I know aren't, really big guys that can demand the torquey power of the EX30. Most of the riders I know are kind of oh, my weight, or 20 or 30 pounds heavier, and they don't have the experience that even I have, because I ride all year round and I'm very experienced. So hey, it's if you have less miles than I do and you're about my weight, I am very confident that you're going to prefer the Commander Pro over the EX30.
I mean, if you have money, get both. I have both. I love my EX30. It's just raw power. You can feel it.
But for being wheels that are very similar in stats, they're both 20-inch wheels. They both have about the same battery, or the same battery.
Yeah, they have the same battery.
For being very similar street wheels coming out at the same time, even Josh said when he stepped on the Commander Pro, the first thing he said was, that ride's completely different than the EX30.
Yeah.
And it's a huge difference in the ride. I mean, the wheels do ride completely different. They're different wheels. So if you have a opportunity, definitely try to step on both wheels before making a decision. Or, if you don't live where there's anybody that has these wheels, you could hit me or Liam up and just kind of tell us what your needs are, or, and we'll kind of try to point you in the right direction, because I definitely want people to be buying the right wheel for them. It really sucks when you buy a wheel and you're just I don't love it. I really want wanted
did with
to
the
love
EX30.
it. I was like, I'm gonna love the EX30. I'm gonna love the EX30. It's gonna be so great. I love that C40 motor. I love that wider rim. And the reality of the situation was like,
No.
I didn't. You know, so a lot of the times when you're reading specs off of your computer or your phone, you know, and you think you're gonna love something about a wheel, you know, you don't really know until you're on it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely nice to be able to just, you know, and when I let people step on the wheel, you know, they're just kind of going out and back and around. But if you've ridden a lot of wheels, you can tell, you can get like a pretty good idea for the feel of the ride really quickly.
Just around the parking lot.
Yeah, just around the parking lot. But they do, the Commander Pro and the EX30 are a completely different ride. So something to think about.
If you're in the San Diego area, hit up Brian Dillard to try out the Commander Pro. LA area, you can hit up me, Portland, Jenn. And that's it. That's our wheel talk.
That's our that's wheel talk. I want to start being like wheel talk, because I do a lot of videos of group rides, but I found that my videos that seem to do better are the ones of me talking. So I'm gonna start doing so. I wanted to do like a wheel talk with Amber too. You know, like, hey lady, wheel talk time. Because I know like sometimes the ladies are looking for a little more balance in the ride, and we have a little bit different priorities than the guys. You know, sometimes I know the guys are, you know, oh, they want that power, they want that top end speed, they want the stats. But the truth of the matter is I think more people are looking for a balance in the ride, the feel of the ride, you know, because it puts you in that flow state, which is what I love most about riding my wheel. You know, I love like how it's an extension of my body, not like, you know, some big thing I have to think about what move I'm going to make before I move it and then like execute this plan. You know, I just like it being a natural extension of my body and not having to think about it, just doing it.
Oh, real quick before EX30 and Commander Pro comparison, I think the Commander Pro is going to get more range because of the smaller motor, because the EX30 is going to eat up more juice getting anywhere.
Yeah, so because it has to work harder.
Not sure if Marty did a
range test.
I'm pretty sure he did. I watch all his videos, so no, I'm kidding. I don't know. Sorry, Marty, I don't watch all your videos.
I watch most of Marty's videos, and I like Dawn's. I love Dawn's videos too. I love Dawn's energy.
Oh yeah, she's so funny in her videos.
I just want to like shout out to Dawn. I really appreciate, you know, the attention that she's like brought into the hobby, like from a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
You know, Dawn is like really friendly. She's like such a great writer. Her content is really good. I really appreciate the informative videos that she puts out. Shout out to Dawn. Keep pulling in new women riders. Keep, you know, spreading the stoke. Definitely appreciate the energy she brings into the community.
Love you, Dawn.
Love you, Dawn. All right, well, that's about it.
All right.
We're almost back into Portland from driving back from Seattle. The weather is beautiful today. Definitely happy for a nice Memorial Day weekend. So thanks for watching Wheel Talk.
And we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. All right, thanks guys. Bye.